Today we're going to show you how to do a breeching set. So step one, we've removed the old ones. We've cleaned up these old ones courtesy of Tommy Kipriotis and his gumption. Alright, cracker. So what you want to do first up, always protect the stone or your bench, and then let's lay out what we got. We've got that, we've got these parts. Okay, we've got the handles. Press pause, I'll open it all up. Alright, so we're back. Now the first thing we've got to do is, we've got to measure the breeching piece, make sure it's sweet. So the way you can do this from above is you can simply sit that upside down. Okay. Unscrew the top one. Washers, just leave them off for now. Unscrew that all the way. There's number one. Okay. Unscrew that. Washers. Bang. We can even undo the kinkos for now. Sorry, that's a bit rough. Alright. Cameraman's giving me shit. Alright, so you can sit these up here, and then you can sit your spout here in between, and you can see that we've got to cut it a bit. We've got to cut this there and there. So we'll go cut those and then we'll come back. Alright, so the next step that makes all the difference, always, wherever your kinko nuts are going, lube up the threads. Trust me, when you're under the vanity and you have to tighten things, that makes all the difference. So bang, we'll whack on this side and we'll just do that lightly for now. We'll loop up this side, bang, and then the bottom. So these ones we're going to put flexes on, so don't have to loop them up. So as a rough guide, we can now sit these down here. Make sure they sit nicely, that's in the middle, and you can get these a bit tighter by hand. Now, that's it. Right, so the next step, you always sit these at the bottom, these threads. You whack the two washers, and the crucial step is this nut has to go on now, and put some lube on these rubber rings, and you'll see why now. So keep the camera rolling, just keep it from up there, I can show you. So we find the hole. Oh, let's see, they do sit it's a thick stone. So in this scenario that it's a thick stone, I've just rolled these out even more. We might have to take them off.
Does this cause for like a pause video?
Yeah, press. I'll explain it now, 1 second. So, I'll explain what we've done here. Oh, there's no night vision, but we've loosened the kinko nuts to pull this couple mil wider. The flanges are all the way at the bottom. We've pushed them up and we've tightened the flanges on here. Okay, so now we've got to go back underneath and tighten the kinko nuts, which we'll do in a second. We haven't used the fibre washers because of the height, but we're going to silicone around here and that'll seal it. Alright, next step, take over. Alright, so now with our spout, if you just put the camera down there, you can see that part. See our lock nuts there ready? Beautiful. So now we can just simply put this one down. Beautiful. And with our hand underneath, we can spin that lock nut. Actually, it's quite tight. So we're going to do the technique we did before. Press pause, we're going to undo. Right, we're just going to undo this one to get access to the inside to spin it down. Okay, so we found the Allen key, we pulled off the top, and we can spin that down. We just got to make sure it lines up with that lock nut underneath. Maybe it's not lining up. we go. So we've got that locked on there. Okay, and that rubber's in between, which will seal it. So now, obviously, the lock nut here is tight, which is why it's tightening here very well. Sometimes you need to hold it underneath the lock nut with a shifter or wrench. So that's nice and neat now. So then you line up, you got that hole, you line up the spout with there, bang. This little nut goes back in. Make sure you line the hole up well, otherwise you'll have difficulty getting it in. And then that's not fully tight, that's tight just enough so you can still spin. Alright, next step, spindle. Keep it rolling, yeah. So spindles next. So these are quarter turn spindles. How you do the quarter turn spindles are, you turn them by hand softly until it gets a bit tight. Then you get a shifter. Now, this doesn't need a lot of force. Okay? The other thing to take note is, with quarter turns, is you want the handle to finish at a specific point. Now these handles, look in here, when we turn them clockwise, they close. So here, if I turn this clockwise, that's in the closed position. So we want the hot to be nice and square when it's closed. So, I'll tighten this so you can see how tight with my pinky. Okay, we're going nice and softly until you hit resistance, which is there. There's a little bit of resistance there. We'll check if that's square, which it's a little bit off. That's too much. We'll see now if we can tighten it more to get it square, which it's going to be too tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on back where it was, and I'm going to back it off a little bit till it's square. Okay, then we're going to go with that, then we're going to go with a lock nut. Okay, now the next step, you've got to be careful here. Because I backed it off and it was loose a little bit to get it square, I open this up and I'm going to hold against here while I tighten the lock nut. So I'm holding against, I'm tightening that lock nut so it doesn't spin the handle. Bang. So now when we close it, up, square, get it from the top angle so you can see I'm not bullshitting, it's all done in one take. Alright, nickersplumbing.com. Alright, now that'll be replicated on the other side. Next thing we've got to check, cover plate covers, drop the feather. So now what we're going to do is silicone around here, soapy spray, cover plate, handle, lock nut. Thanks for coming. And that's how you do the top section. Okay, we'll do that and then we'll come back online. No. So, just so you can see up here, so you can see that's the lock nut. We don't have any space to get anything onto that, so that's why we did it the way we did it before. Now these ones, we put lube on them before. If you get your basin wrench, it might be easier with this, it might be easier with a shifter. So sometimes you got enough space where you can get that on and tighten it, but not here. So we're going to go shifter, and we'll tighten this till the cows come home. Okay, and that's all it is underneath right now. One sec. Alright, get this fully tightened, and then we're just going to go flexi bang. Down here, bang. Done. Finished. Alright, thank you.